Hi, I'm Mark from the Gently Grown Homestead, and today we are planting potatoes with the Ruth Stout method. We'll be talking about that coming right up. All right, so first of all, who is Ruth Stout? Ruth Stout is a Connecticut native woman who came up with a new, easier way of planting things, most famous for potatoes. She figured that if you can just put on enough mulch on top of plants like potatoes, the mulch will kill sod if there is sod, slowly break down to feed the plants as its life moves on, and grow very strong with very little weed pressure all at the same time. So that is what we are doing. We already talked about that with the garlic. Where is it? Right there. That's the garlic that we planted. The potatoes, I just did one row of russet all the way down. And I'll show you step by step what we did. So we just did this with the russet over here, our first row of potatoes. I'm going to do another row for the other varieties here. And all I did was I dug into the mulch and just pulled it back a little bit. Ideally, try to do this with one hand, hold the camera. Ideally, you get down to the ground. So the potato, there we go. So the potato can get some, let's say, nutrients or housing, safe housing right away, as the mulch on top protects it and breaks down and turns into more of this great compost. That's all I did. I did it all standing up. There was no bending over, no, I'll say really no digging, kind of moving aside the mulch. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is take our potato. These are all already cut, chitted. They have scabbed over, calloused. And Ava's gonna help me with this, my little helper, and toss it right into this hole that we just made. Just like that, I just toss it right in. Some people say to make sure that the eyes are facing up, because that's what you want, facing up to grow. You don't really need to do that. Nature will find a way. If you just kind of toss it in gently, I wouldn't throw it in with all your might and risk bruising it or anything, but just like that is fine. It will grow through this mulch and give you a nice yield. All right, and the last step is just to rake over that potato with mulch that you pulled back. So, again, with one hand, let's see if I can do this. Yep, here we go. Just literally just cover it with mulch, rake up, and there you go. That one potato is planted. I'm gonna go finish this row with the rest of the potatoes now. may or may not have noticed or noticed now, I was putting some stakes in the rows as I was going. That was to mark the different varieties. Or actually in the russet row, if you can tell down, there's one bamboo stick. That's because for the russets, I did a couple bags without chitting, without cutting them at all, because some people swear by both. I don't know which works best for the Ruth Stout method, honestly. I don't know if it makes a difference. I know they both, I know potatoes will grow both ways. So I thought I'd try it with the Ruth Stout method and just see what happens. So the first part of the russet row is chitted, they're cut, and then towards the back after that stake is whole potatoes that I threw in the trench there. And then this row were the other varieties. So I started with, I had Adirondack Red, and then Fingerling, and then what's the blue? Adirondack Blue, I think it's called. And then last was Yukon Gold. I also had to double up on some of the smaller potatoes like the fingerlings because I didn't want to do a third of a row next to this. I had a tractor here. I was very, very lucky and fortunate enough to have the tractor here. Dave dropped this mulch here ahead of time to save me hours of work. So if you're doing this yourself, especially on just sod, maybe in the corner or back of your lawn or something, I would probably just put the potatoes down, maybe space them a little more exact rather than throwing it into a hole, and then just dump mulch, whatever wood chips you got, leaves are probably the two, straw and hay, are what Ruth Stout used to use. The things that are mainly used for this. Any type of mulch that you have will do as long as you cover it enough. And now that's really it. I'm not gonna touch these. I'm not gonna water them. If we were having a dry spell now, I might just make sure there's some moisture on the bottom before I covered the potatoes. But I know we're getting a lot of precipitation this week. So part of the idea is that the mulch collects moisture too. So moisture gets in and doesn't as easily escape, so you don't have to water it in theory ever. If we have a really dry spell, I might just come out and check on them, but again, you shouldn't have to water them ever. I didn't water the garlic, and maybe you can see how it's popping up nicely over there now too. But that's it. It holds water, it breaks down, it slowly, as it breaks down, feeds the plants, in this case the potatoes. And then the best part with potatoes is that when they're ready, you don't have to dig. You just pull back the mulch, maybe a little more carefully than I did. When you're harvesting, you pull back the mulch and you just pick out potatoes. You don't have to dig into the ground. So this is a great way to get started growing in your yard, the back of the fence, somewhere that gets, some sun though. And you can even do it directly on sod. You don't have to add compost. You don't have to flip your sod. You don't have to till, nothing. Just add mulch. All right, and that is how you plant potatoes with the Ruth Stout method. Please make sure you like this video, subscribe so you don't miss any new videos from the Gently Grown Homestead. Thanks, be well and grow.